What's going on, Jets fans? This is NYJ Today Live. We are talking Deshaun Watson has officially requested a trade from the Houston Texans. It is now official. I'm still setting up over here, so just give me one little second. I want to get the chat open. So if you hadn't heard, Adam Schefter and a bunch of other media outlets are reporting that Deshaun Watson has officially requested a trade from the Houston Texans. I honestly wasn't expecting to wake up to this today, or I guess while I was working, I should say. I wasn't expecting to read that today. It's clear, though, that he was waiting to hear who they hired. He hadn't made the announcement official until just the morning after they hired their head coach. And so it's very, very clear they did this he did this because he wanted to wait and see. So there is a chance that he might have actually decided to stay with the Houston Texans if they had picked a coach that he had wanted. So it's very interesting to me because I wasn't expecting him to make a decision this quickly after the trade, after the head coach was hired. But I wasn't expecting him to make it an announcement officially so quickly. So it's clear as day he does not want anything to do with the head coach that they hired, that they chose. I am just so excited over here. Cannot believe it. And I really do think that the New York Jets should be considered the favorites to land him. Sorry, I'm just sending out a message on Twitter, trying to get people in here. So if you are sitting in the chat right now, if you're sitting here watching, please let me know what you think in the chat right now. What's going through your mind here? I think that the Dolphins are not a potential landing spot for Deshaun Watson. The Houston Texans made a trade with the Miami Dolphins, giving the Dolphins their number one overall pick, their first round pick. So they're not going to want to trade with the team that they gave their first round pick to. The way that looks would just look really terrible if they decided to do that. So I don't see the Dolphins as a potential landing spot for Deshaun Watson. I think it's more likely that he goes somewhere in the NFC or to the New York Jets. I don't think he's going to end up in with the Dolphins. I think it's more likely that the Patriots get in on the action, and I think it's more likely that the Dolphins stick with Tua Tagovailoa. So I'm not really sitting here concerned about Deshaun landing with the Dolphins. I know some Jets fans are thinking that could be a thing. I don't see it. I don't think so. So I am posting this on all of my social media, so you'll have to forgive me. I need to get into the habit of doing this first prior to starting a stream. But again, let me know if you're watching right now. Please hit me in the comments. Let me know what you're thinking. Is this going to happen? Are the Jets going to land Deshaun Watson? What do you think it's going to take to get him? He's made it known that he's going to be traded. That he wants to be traded. So it really is going to be interesting to see what the Houston Texans do here, how they respond to it. Do they move quickly? Do they move to make a deal quickly, as quick as possible, so that they don't lose potential negotiating power or leverage? We just do not know. So let me know what you think in the comments. Hit me up. And again, if you're watching this after the stream ends, let me know in the comments on YouTube. Let me know what you think is going to happen moving forward. I think it could happen. I really do. I think the New York Jets could end up being the landing spot. He's clearly shown on his social media that he favors New York. He and Allen Robinson have been tweeting about it. Allen Robinson actually sent a tweet shortly thereafter Deshaun made it known that he wanted to be officially traded, And it just simply said, let's see how this unfolds, basically. I think he said, let me check that actually, because I have it on my phone. Alan Robinson said, only time will tell. And he sent that out at 10:18 this morning. So it was just shortly after. Let's go. Yo, from Germany, my man. How you doing? Good to see you in the chat. How you doing today? JD and Sala, do it. Absolutely, dude. And I think that we need to read in between the lines here. I think Deshaun, he really wants to play for Robert Saleh. I think he really wants to be in New York. He has business in New York. He owns a business in New York. I think he wants to be there, and I think he wants to be with the Jets. I think he likes the direction that we're heading. We might not be a championship team right now, but we can build around Deshaun Watson, bro. Let me tell you, we can make it happen. That's how I see it, at least. I think that by making this move, we are putting ourselves on a path towards building a winner, and not just like a somewhat, of an improvement. We have a shot at truly changing things in New York with the Jets with this kind of move. So I'm fired up this morning. This is the kick in the pants that I needed. I feel like it's got a chance. It's got some legs now. We've got an official request to be traded from the Houston Texans. It's becoming more and more exciting. Yes, I agree. I feel like we don't know what's going to happen for sure yet, but there is a really good possibility. I feel like we have all the ammunition. Adam Schefter tweeted about a week or so ago. He said that of all the teams that are out there, the New York Jets are positioned the best to make this kind of move happen. So, again, Adam Schefter's the man. He knows what's going on in the NFL, and I just feel like we really don't, why would we not make this move? Why would Joe Douglas not pivot off of using these draft picks to build a franchise? Why would he not go ahead and just check franchise quarterback off of his to-do list? Do you know what I'm saying? Why would he not want to make this move? It wouldn't make sense to me if Joe Douglas at least didn't inquire and be aggressive in making this move. I would be very confused if he decides not to pull the trigger here. I just think there's too much to be gained. Let's see, we got Schlong1999. He says, more exciting. So if you're still if you're watching this, please let me know what you guys think. What's the trade offer? What are you offering to the Houston Texans? I think that's the part that we really need to start discussing, because there's no doubt Joe Douglas is going to pick up the phone. Joe Douglas made it very clear that when the phone rings, you answer it. He said that with the Jamal Adams when the Dallas Cowboys were calling, inquiring what it would take to get Jamal Adams to come to Dallas. And Joe Douglas, he pretty much said it straight up. He said, when somebody calls, you always take the call. You always listen to what other teams are willing to do. So when he sees this news, you better believe he's going to make a phone call. Why would he not? Why would he not see where they are as far as what they want in a trade for Deshaun? And I want everybody out there to keep in mind, Deshaun Watson has a trade clause in his contract where if the Houston Texans go to him and say, hey, we have an agreement with the let's just say the Miami Dolphins. And they say, we've got a trading agreement with them. The Texans have to go to Deshaun Watson and say, do you approve of this trade? So he can say no. He could say no to any team. So let's make that very clear here. The Houston Texans lose leverage with this. By Deshaun Watson having this in his contract, he can say no. He could tell he could tell the Texans, no, I don't want to go to that team. Pick a different team. And so I feel like this is what is going to lead him to New York. We know he already has an interest in New York. They've made it very clear on social media. So now here we are. He's now available. Why would this not happen? Why would we not make the move here? So that's kind of what I'm sitting here thinking to myself is this move almost certainly has to be a possibility, even if it doesn't happen. It's certainly it's looking good. I'll say that. Schlong 1999, he says, for me, it would be okay to offer 4 first-rounders, 2 from this year, 2 for the next year. For me, it is like we give them 2 regular for the safety, right, Jamal Adams. And then it says, but I hope 3 first-rounders and 1 next year as well. Goose, I need to know, why are you heartbroken right now? What's going on, Goose? Goose, why are you heartbroken? Are you a Houston Texans fan? If you are, I could completely understand, and I will not rub salt in your wounds. I get it. Yeah, I had a feeling. Hey, dude, welcome to the channel, by the way. I appreciate anybody from around the NFL. Please consider subscribing to the channel. I talk NFL. This is a Jets channel first and foremost, but we do discuss the NFL, so... We do also have a weekly podcast that we do every Wednesday night, so I would love to have you stick around. Even though you are a Texans fan, happy to have you here. I am very, very sorry. So what do you think, since you're in here, Goose, since you're a Texans fan, you're not giddy like us Jets fans because of the prospect of trading for Deshaun Watson. So what are you hoping for at this point? Or are you not at that point yet where you're ready to even discuss this as a possibility? Because, this is heartbreaking for Houston Texans fan. I mean, Deshaun Watson is a top 5 to 8 quarterback in the NFL. He is young, 25 years old, and, he's got all the potential in the world. He just led the league in passing yards, 70% completion rate, only 7 interceptions. The last 3 seasons, he's averaged 5 rushing touchdowns per year. So, yeah, I could get it. I get it. And I'm sorry that you're having to go through this because, Jets fans, we didn't necessarily lose a franchise quarterback, but we lost a franchise building block in Jamal Adams. But it's different, though. A safety is a safety. A quarterback is a quarterback. You can't replace a Deshaun Watson, at least not easily. And Goose, if you're still here, I would love to hear from you. What quarterback would you want? What quarterback would you want at the number 2 overall pick? Who would you want the Houston Texans, assuming they trade with the Jets? Who would you want at number 2 overall? Would you want Zach Wilson? Would you want Justin Fields? Would you want to trade back to get more picks? What is it that you Texans fans would want? So Goose says in the chat, he says, I'm hopeful that we get Trevor Lawrence, but Deshaun has a no-trade clause, and I doubt he would want to go to Jacksonville. The next best option would be to go to the Jets to get Fields or Wilson. Very well said. So, hey, man, that would be insanity, is if the Jacksonville Jaguars decided to pivot off of Trevor Lawrence at the number 1 overall pick and send it to the Jags for Deshaun. I don't see that happening, and I get why you're hopeful because Deshaun Watson's a proven quarterback and a proven winner. So the Jaguars should at least consider that option. Having said that, I don't see the Jaguars wanting to pass on Trevor Lawrence. I could be wrong. We may end up seeing the Jacksonville Jaguars making a move like this because I could see Deshaun Watson in the Jaguars and playing for Urban Meyer. I could see all of that. But again, I want you to keep in mind, like you had said, he has that no trade clause. I don't think he wants to play in Jacksonville. I don't know Deshaun Watson all that well, but I believe he is going to want to go to New York. I mean, I could be wrong, and we might see that in a couple of days, some more information coming out. I think he wants to come play for the Jets. I think he wants to play for Robert Saleh. I think he wants to play in the same city that he owns his business. And yeah, that's kind of how I see it. And the Texans are in a bad spot right now. I mean, they have a really bad position right now because, like you said, they have the trade clause, or he has the trade clause, so they can get any good offer from any team, and Deshaun can simply just say no. And that's bad. for the Texans. So I get where you're coming from. Schlong, you're saying that it's a little bit quiet. I use the same audio settings for pretty much all of my videos and podcasts. It shouldn't be quiet. If it is, maybe plug some headphones in. That should do the trick. So let's see. Goose, you said nobody's really talking about this, but I think if Deshaun was traded to the Rams, they would be the best team in the NFL. Dude, the Rams have the _1 defense in the NFL as of last year. And so if you're adding Deshaun Watson and replacing replacing Jared Goff with Deshaun Watson, yeah. Jared Goff is not, I don't think he's even a top 15 quarterback in the NFL. I would say he's more of like a top 23 quarterback in the NFL. And so, yeah, I feel like they could be a threat, the Rams. They have the receivers. They're a little bit old at the offensive line position. But yeah, the Rams would be a damn good team if they had Deshaun Watson at quarterback instead of Jared Goff. I think they would become instantly a favorite in the NFC. So yeah, the Rams could do it. I don't know about their draft capital. I know they traded away first round picks for the cornerback Jalen Ramsey, and they've made other moves in the past. They have traded a first rounder for Brandon Cooks, so there's no doubt they'll be interested, I think. And there's already rumors that the LA Rams are already going to have an open quarterback competition in training camp this year. That's assuming they don't make a move during the offseason. So people are already talking about how the Rams might be moving on from Jared Goff. So yeah, I could see that absolutely as a fit, and it would get Deshaun Watson out of the AFC, which I'm sure the Texans would love to do. They don't want to have to see Deshaun Watson. So yeah, that could work out for the Houston Texans to trade him to the LA Rams. Having said that, though, we still got this trade clause. I think that Deshaun would be open to going to LA. I don't think that he would be opposed to that. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that he only wants to play in New York. I'm sure he has a list of teams that he would be willing to go to. Probably like 3. He would probably go to the LA Rams. He would be willing to go to the New York Jets. And I could see him wanting to go to the San Francisco 49ers as well. I think that he probably has a list similar to that. Again, I still don't think the Miami Dolphins are an option for the Texans because the optics of that look terrible. The Houston Texans traded them their their third overall pick, I should say. So having the Texans go to the Dolphins, basically crawling back to them and begging them for their first round pick back, just looks terrible. So I don't see that happening. So if you guys don't have any more comments, or if you don't want to, if you're watching and if you would like to message in the chat, please go ahead and do that right now. Otherwise, I'll wrap this up in the next 5 minutes or so. Let me know what you guys think. If you're new to the channel here, please subscribe. We have a Houston Texans man watching the show right now. I really appreciate it, Goose. So let's see. Schlong says, what do you think about that some people say it would be a fault to go for Watson because we are not a good team? That's a really good question, Schlong. So anybody that says that, I won't say what I actually want to say. So Deshaun Watson would be replacing the worst quarterback in the NFL last year if he comes to the Jets. I just feel like that's outrageous. Why? How would that not help the New York Jets? And again, how would that not help Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh to build this team? Anybody saying that we're giving away our first round picks and it's not going to allow us to build the team, again, I want to use choice words here. I like to save my cursing for my podcast with Mike. They don't know football. Listen, the New York Jets need a franchise quarterback. That's a huge gaping hole, a big problem for this franchise for decades. The last franchise quarterback that we had was probably Chad Pennington. You can't sit here and tell me Mark Sanchez was a franchise quarterback. You can't sit here and tell me Geno Smith was a franchise quarterback. You can't sit here and tell me that Vinny Testaverde, even, you could throw him out there. He was not a franchise quarterback. He was only on the team for a couple of years. So listen, if a franchise quarterback who's 25 years old, who just coming off of leading the league in the NFL in passing yards, only throwing 7 interceptions on a 4-12 football team, how are you not making this move? It doesn't make sense. And so for people who are saying you can't make this move, you're not a good football team, no shit, we're not a good football team. We're a terrible football team. Last year we were awful. And so by getting the quarterback, you're then able to build the team. Now, I'm not saying that this has to be the path. You don't have to trade for Deshaun Watson. If Joe Douglas sits there and says, you know what, the price is too much, we got to build the team, we have too many holes, I will follow what Joe Douglas does, and I will support it, whatever he decides. So if he sees a quarterback in the draft that he believes will be a franchise quarterback and he doesn't think he needs to spend 3 first-round picks to trade for Deshaun Watson, I don't think I would do that, but I will support Joe Douglas because he knows better than me. I'm not Joe Douglas. I haven't studied the NFL as long as he has. But yeah, I just feel like by trading away 3 first-round picks, maybe a couple of mid-round picks, you still have a first-rounder next year or this year. You still have your second-round picks. You still have 3rd and 4th and 5th and 6th round picks. You still have cap space. How can we not build the team? Right now, in its current state, we know the New York Jets aren't a good football team. But this is not the team that we'll be carrying into 2021. The current team isn't going to be the same team in September. So if you're sitting here telling me how bad the Jets are, they shouldn't trade for Deshaun Watson, I think you need to get your head out of your butt because we need a quarterback. We need to improve at that position. We have been a laughing stock at quarterback, and I'm tired of it. I am exhausted from having bad quarterback play. All right, so a couple more minutes with you guys here. Thanks for joining me. If you're new, please like this video, like the stream. If you're also new to the channel, consider subscribing. We did a live podcast last night. Feel free to check that out. We've been uploading videos every day of the week this week, and we're going to continue to do that. We welcome anybody, any NFL fan. It doesn't matter who you are. Houston Texans fans, if you're a Bills fan, we'll give you a little bit of crap, but again, you are more than welcome. We are not the kind of fan that will turn people away. So anyway, we're just really loving this channel. We're loving interacting with you guys. So please let us know in the comments what you guys think about this news. Deshaun Watson has officially requested to be traded. And I just can't wait. Can't wait for the offseason. Can't wait to see what happens with Deshaun Watson. Can't wait to see what Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh decide to do. I'm sure that they have finished their evaluation or are close to finishing their evaluations of Sam Darnold. So you would have to think that this news is going to light a little bit of a fire under them to make a move to get this decided sooner rather than later. So which free agent wide receiver would I pick? So right now we have Denzel Mims, who is a big-bodied receiver who is physical, who can go up and grab the ball from the air. He makes great contested catches. Allen Robinson is available, but I'm not saying I wouldn't take Allen Robinson, so don't get this twisted. Allen Robinson is very similar to Denzel Mims. And so I don't know if we need 2 guys that can do that. But having said that, if they decide that they could, if they want to go get Allen Robinson, he's clearly the best receiver that's available. Having said that, I actually prefer Chris Godwin from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think that by getting him, we have a wonderful blend of receivers in our top 3. We have Denzel Mims, who's a big-bodied guy who can go up and get it in the red zone on deep balls where it's a contested catch. He can do that. We've got Chris Godwin then, who can kind of do a little bit of everything. He can line up in the slot. He can line up outside. He can make tough catches. He can make contested catches. He's a good route runner. So you can put Denzel Mims and Chris Godwin on the outside, and then you can put Jamison Crowder on the inside. And so I think that's actually a lethal combination. Really, really lethal. And again, if you're assuming we get Deshaun Watson, oh boy, points are coming, boy. Let me tell you. Chris Godwin, Jamison Crowder, Denzel Mims, and we'll have draft picks still to maybe get a running back. We're scoring points. We're going to be not the worst offense in the league, which is about damn time, I would say. Robinson would be awesome, like Godwin. Samuel would be okay also. So Curtis Samuel, he is a really good weapon. I think that if we were going to sign him, he would be probably our fourth receiver in this circumstance, assuming we signed either a Godwin or a Robinson with Mims and Crowder. I think that he would be our fourth, but that's okay because he can do different things. He can do those jet sweeps. He can catch the ball, obviously. He can run the ball. He's done that before with the Carolina Panthers. So, yeah, I feel like there's a lot of options at the receiver position, especially in free agency. So I'm actually looking for the Jets to make a move in free agency for the wide receiver position, not necessarily to draft somebody because they just drafted Denzel Mims, and I don't know if they need another rookie wide receiver on the team. I don't know if that's going to be a successful plan. Dean in the chat. Dean, thank you so much. If you're new to the channel, Dean, please consider subscribing. Also like this video. Dean, what are your thoughts here? You said good stuff. I want to hear from you, man. Are you excited? What are you fired up? Are you a Jets fan here? I want to hear what you're thinking right now. This does suck. I do have to run. I have a little work responsibility that I have to do in about 4 minutes. So I will have to end the stream shortly, guys. Thank you so much for attending. This has been fun, even though it's only been about 25 minutes. This is always fun to interact with fans around the NFL and with fans out there. Dean, are you still there? What do you got for me, buddy? I'll give you a few seconds here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Oh, yeah, Schlong. No, dude, absolutely. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you. This channel is so much fun for me to run. And let me make this very clear. The best part about this is interacting with people like you and just kind of bouncing ideas back and forth between each other. I think that's the way this channel is this is what this channel is going to be known for, is interaction between the community, the fans, and us, Mike and myself. So, yeah, you don't have to thank me, dude. This is what I love to do. I love talking to Jets fans, like talking to NFL fans about what's going on. So this has just been an absolute blast. Having said that, guys, I got to run. Thank you for tuning in to NYJ today. If you're catching this stream after it's been posted, please comment. I want to hear what you guys think. What are you giving up for Deshaun Watson? We don't have to guess anymore. He is available for trade. So what are you giving up? I want to know what the package is that you would offer if you were Joe Douglas. Do you think that this trade gets executed? Will the Jets make this move? If you don't think the Jets get him, where do you see him going? We talked about the LA Rams as a possibility. I had mentioned the San Francisco 49ers as a possibility, but I would love to know where you think he actually ends up. This is NYJ Today. Like and subscribe. Have an awesome day. I will see you guys next time. Peace.